We'll go back, man. Del State, man. HBCU.
100%. 100%.
HBCU, man. Describe that, man. What was your HBCU experience like?
Oh man, rich and black, man. Just you love the atmosphere.
Yeah.
The parties, just hanging out with everybody. So many people have been successful coming from Del State.
Right.
Me and you and a bunch of other people. Lifelong friendships, connections. Everybody wants to help each other. That's what I remember. You know what I mean, about the HBCU, my experience.
Right. Well, why did you go?
You know, I applied to a lot of schools. I'm not gonna lie, I got rejected by a lot.
Me
I ain't
too.
gonna hold you.
Me too.
But I got into Hampton and Del State. And I'm gonna be real. I didn't want to travel down all the way down to Hampton.
Right.
I'm gonna be real. So I'm like, well, Delaware is like 3.5 from New York.
Yeah.
It's a bit more manageable. You know what I mean? And I can remember I had a high school friend. He told me about Delaware State. He was like, yo, I heard it's like a party school. It's a fun school, man. You know, it's lit. I was like, all right. You know, so I was like, you know what? Forget Hampton. I'm going to go to Del State. Shout out to Hampton. I love Hampton too. I'm just saying I chose Del State, and that was like the best decision I ever made. You know?
You know, that's crazy because for me, yo, I got, hurt my last year of football, kind of. And like my coach, no disrespect to him, he ain't really helped the seniors out try to find schools to go to.
Right.
And so there was like this list that my guidance counselor gave me. And it was like, I filled out one application and it sent it out to all the HBCUs at once. So like Bethune-Cookman, I might have got accepted to, Hampton, same thing. The same thing for me. Delaware State wasn't too far.
Right.
So it was like a perfect match. But I went to a summer program.
Cause I was there. I was there for one of those weeks.
Right, yep. So like my grades was not the greatest.
Was it shaky?
Yeah, it was a little it was a little shaky, but that summer program, man, that thing helped me, man. It jump-started my whole HBCU experience.
Right.
I kind of slept on it, man. I didn't, I went to school with my school was majority black too. So for me, leaving the HBCU, I had a hard time adjusting.
Right.
But my experience there was dope, man. I could just remember meeting the circle that I had, even when I met you back in the mass comm days, man. Right. So how did you decide to pick your major?
Yeah, first I always loved sports to begin with, growing up. But you realize everybody wants to make the NBA, and you realize, well, I'm not making the NBA. So I went to Rice High School. So that was the best basketball high school in New York City.
That's Kimber.
Period.
Kimber went there.
Kimber Walker went there. Edgar Sosa, Curtis Kelly, my man, Kashif Pratt, GOATs, all NY City GOATs.
Right.
So I realized, well, I ain't playing ball because y'all nice.
Right.
So I had to figure out a way to get into broadcasting. I used to watch SportsCenter every single day.
Yeah.
I'm watching Stephen A. and Chris Broussard. I'm watching everybody. Stu Scott, rest in peace.
Yep.
And so I kind of looked at it and I was like, yo, this is something I want to do. So I started in print journalism to be a writer and reporter.
Yeah.
I'm not going to lie. The first class we had and the teacher was like, you're going to have to write a 30-page paper and this and that. I dropped that class the first day.
30-page paper?
Yo, I forgot what it was, but it was writing. So I had to write all semester long, and I kind of got spooked.
Yeah.
So then I went to broadcast,
right?
And that's when we went in with television and radio, and I found my home once I got in it.
Right.
Because I'm talking sports. I'm with you and other people, friends, like my man Ben Bullock had a radio show.
Yep.
Did some basketball games. We had the on-campus television network.
Yep.
So I was in all of these things, and I love sports so much, so it was natural for me. It just worked out.
All right, so I remember, I had an internship, a small one, we went to Italy with Mr. Celli. And then I came back and then I saw you and you was telling me like, yo, fill out for this conference in Cali.
Yep.
What was that conference called again?
NABJ Conference, National Association of Black Journalists Conference.
Bro.
San Diego, I still remember.
I feel like that was the worst decision I made, man.
Don't say that.
I'm sorry,
that.
bro.
First of all, we sitting here on your pod right now.
True.
You talking about something way back. You made a mistake back then. It's irrelevant now, bro. It's irrelevant.
All right, well, explain to me, how was that conference like?
Well, I mean, that's how I got my job at ESPN.
Right.
But the story started before that.
Then let's run it back.
Right. So I had interned at News One / Black Planet, if you remember the old school Black Planet social network. So my mentor.
They had jobs there?
Yeah, because we used to have the Black Planet. So I used to write for News One.
Right.
I used to write on the website.
Oh shit.
So my mentor that I met over there, so I'm gonna call him MC Mighty Casey.
Yeah.
So if you ever watch BET Uncut, if you saw in White Girls, that's him.
Okay.
That's my mentor.
Oh shit.
So he had a connection to ESPN, somebody that was on camera talent. He was like, yo, just email him and see what happens. I emailed him and dude responded. Forwarded my resume. I got a call back. I got an email back like a week later, apply for this job.
Yeah.
I applied for it. I didn't hear nothing. So I'm like, damn, I was so close.
Right.
So then we get to the NABJ conference. They had an ESPN booth down there. And it was a week-long conference. They had booths, they had conferences, they had, speaking engagements, everything. So the ESPN booth is there, and I'm cocky. I'm about to ace this. I'm going to get my job at ESPN. This is it. And I bombed that interview.
Damn.
It was the worst interview of my life. I'm down there. Listen, the woman's looking at me. She's like, why you want to work at ESPN? I'm like, well, I love sports. She's like, everybody loves sports. That don't mean nothing. She's like, look at your resume. You got a mistake here. You're not ready. Damn. And I probably almost cried. I went back to the hotel room. I'm like, yo, I just blew it.
Damn.
And then I had one of the mini laptops.
Yeah.
We didn't have any tablets back then, I feel like.
Nah, no tablets. No tablets.
So I took the mini laptop, put it in my flash drive. I kind of just fixed everything.
Yeah.
So the way, and I kind of tell kids, when you meet someone, you have to be memorable. That's networking. You got to be memorable within 30 seconds.
Right.
So my strategy, every time I saw this lady, I kept using the bad interview as a chance to speak to her.
Okay.
So next time I saw her, I'm like, hey, so-and-so, you told me my resume was terrible.
Oh,
She was like, oh, I remember you. I'm like, yeah. Saw her again. At this point, it's like fate. Saw her again, like, hey, so-and-so, I'm going to come back and see you. Okay, I'll see you. And then I saw her at a mixer, like later, maybe the next night.
Yeah.
Had struck up a conversation, very formal because we was out, it was drinks flowing and everything. Like, oh, you know what? She's like, you know what? I like you. You've been persistent all week. Come back and see me the next day. Came back, saw her the next day, much better. I was much calmer. Put the L behind me.
Yeah.
And then eventually I got the interview, and eventually that's how I got the ESPN. So it was tough. It was a tough road.